In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to install Neovim and create a very simple and minimal configuration. So this configuration is going to be very stable and it's all going to be in one single init.lua file. So let's just get straight into it. I have deleted my Neovim configuration. So if I go here to .config/nvim, there is no such file or directory. So first we'll actually need to install Neovim. I'm going to install the latest development version of Neovim because I want to use the built-in plugin manager called the vim.pack instead of anything external like lazy.nvim or something like that. So let's go ahead and compile Neovim from source and install the latest development version. So you're going to want make and cmake installed for that, and you're going to want to run make cmake _build _type equals release. Run that. It will take some time to compile Neovim, and then you just run sudo make install and it will install Neovim. Very simple. And with those two commands you can go ahead and install the latest and greatest development version of Neovim, the 0.13, as this video is being released. And now if we open Neovim, look at that, a very nice beautiful start screen with the logo here. But this is a very ugly looking color scheme, and it's not really configured at all. So this is the default configuration. Anyways, let's go to .config, create that. Oops, I keep making mistakes. I'll create that Neovim, and we're gonna open this directory with Neovim. So I have that alias to Vim, by the way, and there we go. So now we are in the Neovim directory, and we're gonna want to create a file with percentage, call that init.lua, and we have the Neovim configuration file. So here I want to set my map leader. The leader key is to the backtick, I think that's what you call it. Basically just this thing right here. And I will also want to set some options. So set this variable opt to vim.opt, and set opt new to true, so that's going to enable line numbers, and opt.rnew to true, so that's going to enable relative line numbers. So now if we source that, we've got relative line numbers. So with relative line numbers, basically you can see stuff like or do stuff like 4K, it's gonna get you there. And relative line numbers makes doing that very easy because you know exactly the distance of these lines. So I can know that opt.new right here, that is actually 3 lines away or 3 lines down from our current line. So I can do 3j. That's beautiful. That those are gonna be it for the very basic options. And I'm also going to disable these very weird looking squiggly lines that we don't really need. So set that to or actually set FCS filters, create a table, set EOB end of buffer to space, and source that. Look at that, now we no longer have those squiggly lines that are very annoying and ugly looking. So now we'll need to install some plugins really quick because I don't like this color scheme. It is looking very terrible. And so we'll go ahead and vim.pack.add, which is the default plugin manager, and we'll go ahead and type in this link for a whole bunch of color schemes. Basically it's a repository with all of these tinted color schemes, basically just a base 16 color schemes is what those are. Now we'll go ahead and install that, go ahead and source that. Yes, go ahead and install those plugins for me, and it's going to take a while, or maybe not take a while. We just need to wait while doing some slow talking now. I'm not going to be rushing stuff. And now we're back to fast talking. So we've installed the plugin, and what we're going to do is require and we'll do tinted nvim dot setup, and here we're going to very quickly say default scheme, because I don't know why I keep saying quickly saying it, that makes no sense. But basically quickly type in default scheme. I'll set that to base 16 brewer, and I'll set UI equals transparent to true. This is optional. If you want a transparent background you can do this, and then highlight equals, and here is where things are gonna get really cool, because I'm gonna create a well, I forgot what it was called. It was called let me actually check the thing, the website highlights. It was called overrides. Alright, overrides equals function, and then palette, and then end that function, and add a comma right there at the end of the function and end of highlight. And I'm going to add some highlights here. So status line, create a table, set the background to absolutely nothing, and source all of this. And oh, look at that, tinted-nvim not found. I wonder why. because I just installed it in Vim, which we don't really need. So go ahead and source that. Wow, look at that. So I already had this plugin installed basically in my Neovim data directory. So now we have a nice looking nice looking color scheme plugin installed with a nice looking color scheme. So the only thing that isn't really working properly is the override here. My status line still has this ugly background. I don't know why, but let's go ahead and try to fix that, see where I got it wrong. So highlight, is it highlights? It is highlights. So I changed that to highlights, and that should fix it. Alright, open Neovim again and see that again. Well, I don't really know right now. It's set to highlights and it's set to overrides. So overrides, highlights, overrides, function, palette, return. Oh yeah, you have to return a table, forgot about that. That's where I messed it up. So return table, and well, in that table we'll put our custom highlights and then source set. Look at that. So we no longer have an ugly looking status line background. This is looking all nice. Now we'll need a TreeSetter install now. So go ahead and paste in or type in the link to TreeSetter. We just nvim TreeSetter repeat it twice. So we do that, and we need to install that. Say yes to that, and we're gonna be waiting for TreeSetter to install while I talk very slowly now, and we go back to very quick talking. I require Neovim TreeSetter. It's kind of sad that you can't really see that under the screen key. Require Neovim TreeSetter dot setup, and that's all there really is to it. And then require Neovim TreeSetter dot install, and I'm gonna say install, and we'll install some very quickly, just add some languages. So we'll do Lua, we'll do C, and we'll do Go. So those three are what I'm gonna install. And I will also require, or actually it's at the end of the required stuff. Now we just need a vim dot and a vim dot API dot, and I forgot what it was. So let me actually go back to the TreeSetter Neovim or TreeSetter GitHub repository, the Neovim TreeSetter GitHub repository. I'm sorry if I'm being way too fast, by the way, because that was the point of this video. Just do a very quick configuration, and it was going to be a very fast tutorial. I'm going to mention that in the title, but let's go here and see where the yeah, it's called auto command. Of course it's called auto command, and create that function, or run that function. And we're going to set the pattern to file type. So set that to Lua, C, and Go, because those are the stuff that we just installed. And callback equals, and then function vim dot TreeSetter dot start end. And yeah, you need the braces right here. And that is gonna be it for this auto command. We're gonna source that. And now we've got an error, so expected 2 arguments in the nvim create auto command. And let's see where we got that wrong. Oh yeah, we need a file type as well. So that's basically going to be the pattern, and source set. So now we have TreeSetter enabled, and if I go ahead and open this TS update, it is going to install 3 out of 3 languages. And now if I open init.lua, this is using TreeSetter. Alright, so if I open any sort of C file like my st-config, or actually we'll use this a project that I created, that is basically a project recommender in Go, because we installed the Go TreeSetter thing language. Look at that, look at this colorful highlighting. It's looking so beautiful, it's looking so amazing. I fucking love it. So we're gonna open Neovim here. And oh, we need some key bindings, because I keep pressing dash and nothing happens. Basically just add vim.keymap.set, and then normal mode dash run ex explorer dash. It opens up Explorer, very nice, inspired by those typo plugins. And we'll also want, this is going to be really useful, escape, and then that's going to do no HLS, so that's gonna not highlight search results. And we'll also have some other primage and stuff. Basically just in insert mode, if we do JJ, that is going to execute or actually it's gonna translate to escape. So if I type in something and I go ahead and follow that up with JJ, it's going to basically put me in normal mode. So source that, and typing something, JJ puts me in normal mode, which is very nice. So those are some 3 key bindings that I really want, and I will also want some shortcuts, so actually just some key bindings to teleport me to some places. So I will say leader and then C, they'll teleport me to actually edit the $sign myVimRC just to open the new Vim configuration. So if I now do the backtick C, it is going to give me this :e myVimRC, and I can just press enter to open this file. I'll actually add the enter right here, so now I can backtick C, it's gonna open that. So if I'm in some random file like that development project I just opened, and I do backtick C, it's gonna take me to my new Vim configuration. So there we go, we've got all of that set, and I will add some more options now. So UDF will basically enable undo history. The user, the undo directory, will be set to some sort of directory. So we're gonna set it to .config and vim, and I'm gonna so undo there. I'm gonna do undo there, and I'm pretty sure you need to expand that. So I don't know how the expand thing works with Neovim. Yeah, expand is not a function name, so let's search that. Actually, expand function in Neovim Lua. So I'm talking about the expand function in Vim script, and how to actually do that in the Neovim Lua thing. And let's see, where is that expand function? Or actually, there was this thing called configs or something like that. Yeah, hconfig. Or actually, I'll just try. You know what? Let's just set this to this string that says Neovim undo there. See what happens. I think it works. So let me go ahead and open this here. Do that, and I'll go ahead and undo some stuff, and do that. So now let's see if it puts me in this undo file. There's this thing called home. Oh, and that is actually very nice. So it's created a home for me here. So rmrf /home. Look at that, it created a .config and stuff like that. So actually for that purpose I will just need to do undo there source, and now if I do some undo stuff and do that, save that, ls, wow, look at that, we've got undo there right here with all of my undos files, undo history. Let's remove this home here. I don't know, it still exists, and let's check out this undo there. It should contain all of my, there we go, very nice, it's got all of my undos. I hope I didn't actually accidentally delete my home directory. No, I didn't. That is very nice. We've got undo support. I've got a checklist here of all of the other stuff that I want. So reader, we've got that. Undo story, got that. System clipboard, yes, that is very important. op.cb equals unnamed plus. Go ahead and type that in. And now we can copy this, paste it in here. There we go, system clipboard. And what else? Keybinds for efficiency, got that in, got that stuff working. So that is it for a new Vim configuration actually. So let's see how many lines that was, and that was 43 lines. So that is incredibly nice, very minimal configuration. And bye bye. So that is going to be for this speedrun, Neovim speedrun, and bye bye.